What's up, Joesph here, and video games or video game reviewers, something that some people trust. I would not be one of them. In all seriousness, I have no problem with the medium, it's a lot more subjective than a lot of people would like to think it is. Only 13 million people bought a Wii U, and most would say that yeah, the game console wasn't that good, and then my stupid ass went out and bought one in 2022. Or take Two Worlds, possibly one of the most overhyped games for the Xbox 360. This game was positioned as the must-have exclusive, touted as the Oblivion killer. On the back of the box, it literally says Oblivion on steroids. So you'd think with the marketing as out there as this, that it would be a grand adventure. No! This game was almost universally hated by everyone. Not me. Yeah, I like Two Worlds. What are you gonna do about it? It's a beautifully jank open world RPG that tries so hard to be something that it's not. I think everybody likes to watch something fail at something that it tries so hard to succeed at. The point that I'm trying to drive home here is that video game reviews are very subjective. Like, yeah, 99 out of 100 people might like Yo Noid and think it's the best thing since Jesus Christ, but I wouldn't be one of those people. But what if we take the reviews away from the professionals of the genre and move to something more freelance like Metacritic? Introducing Rate That Review. Hello and welcome back to Rate That Review, the only TV show in the world where someone looks at other people's reviews and rates them. In this show, we aim to try and validate the opinions of others and see if they're really a deep dive into a game or just a surface level swim. The first game that I want to look at is The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, the highest rated game on Metacritic. We aren't going to look at the positive reviews though, because come on, this game is touted as the best game ever. I want to look at the reviews that say this game is a steaming pile of zombie U. The first review we have is from someone called Famicom9X. It reads as follows: poor graphic, poor gameplay, poor story, over user character design, name, etc. Overused story, script, average music, expect more than that. Okay, let's break this down. By 1998 standards, you could do a lot worse graphically than Ocarina of Time. The gameplay in Ocarina of Time is also pretty standard. It actually set forth the norm for action-adventure games. But they don't bring up any specific examples, so I digress. I'm not really sure what they mean by overused character designs and names. I mean, yeah, it's a Zelda game. It's going to have continuity with the other games in the franchise. Although, I don't know if I should put too much stock into this guy's opinions because he's reviewed 11 games, all of them getting zeros. Yeah, I think this guy just hates video games. Next up, we have this review by Bad Aim 81. Bad controls, bad graphics, poor story, bugs. I just got angry playing this overhyped game. All I can say is he probably needs to fix his spelling and stop playing Mortal Kombat. Saying that the game has bad controls, yeah, okay, I get that. The Nintendo 64 controller required you to have 3 arms to use all the buttons effectively, but this game's story being bad? Come on. This game has some of the most lovable and memorable characters in the franchise and maybe even gaming as a whole. And as for the bugs, you really have to go out of your way to find those. Most people will never encounter these in a normal playthrough, unless you already know how to do them or you are specifically trying to break something. But this is also the guy that reviewed Breath of the Wild on the Wii U and the Switch on the same day and gave the Wii U version 1 point extra. Like, come on. Even if you hated Breath of the Wild, the Switch version is superior. Then you have this jackass who gave the game a 0, then went on to say the game wasn't that bad. Like, come on, if you're gonna have a bad opinion, at least be consistent with it. I would venture to say that most people that played Ocarina of Time, to some extent, actually enjoy the game, or at the very least can appreciate what it did to the video game genre. I would also like to believe that many people out there don't actually hate the Ocarina of Time, because that would be preposterous, and that the reviews we looked at here are just meme reviews, made to get a rise out of people. I'm looking at myself when I say that. The next thing I want to look at are bad games with good reviews. The game that I picked out to do this is Two Worlds. Now, most people would agree that it's not the best game, but it has its charm. I think Ryan L puts it the best. I don't understand why this game has such a poor review. It's a bit glitchy at times, I've gotten stuck before, but overall the storyline and character development are great. I like this much better than Oblivion. You know what? I take back everything that I just said. I think it is a bit counterintuitive to say that a game is glitchy and that you can get stuck, but also you don't know why the game got bad reviews. Man, I wonder why no one bought this moldy bread. I think the icing on the cake here is that they gave the game a perfect 10 out of 10. Like, I know that reviewing games is subjective and a number rating is an arbitrary unit of measurement, but come on. The game being unplayable at times is an objectively bad trait. The only way to see this as a good trait is looking at it from the perspective that you no longer have to play two worlds. GameStop. I'm sure everybody knows what it is. It's the place where children and middle-aged women go when they have a few extra bones in their pocket. Something you may not be aware of is they have an online store where you can actually review products that you purchase. Pretty simple stuff, actually. Unless you're this guy. Drag of a game. Not a game for adults in my opinion. Skyrim is much better for adults for this kind of game. I think the part that upsets me the most is the implication that Skyrim is a deeper game than Breath of the Wild. Skyrim is a game you just kind of turn your brain on autopilot for the most part, while Breath of the Wild is a puzzle-solving game with interesting combat mechanics and enemies. Good game, but the puzzles are unnecessarily complex. What? So the game is good, but the puzzles are too hard, so you give it a 1 out of 5 stars? Those just don't match up at all. I feel like giving people an avenue to express their opinions just wasn't the best step for mankind. Only for hardcore fans. I am not a fan of a weak version of Link. I should not be more durable in real life than a video game character. Also, many death traps are placed at the very beginning of the game, making it inaccessible to casual players. You could tell they didn't play the game because they're complaining about an early game problem. I can understand why people find the beginning of this game frustrating, as it can be a bit jarring for new players and veterans of the series alike. But saying that you, as a person, are more durable than Link, I don't think so. Yeah, if you could survive something like that, you might need to consider a career change. Now that I've dove into the world of video game reviews and video game reviewers, I think I know what makes a good and bad review, so I can start my own review sesh. What's the first game I'm going to start reviewing? I'm not really sure, so let me just look at my video games and pick one at random. Oh yeah, this one should work. Yeah, it's shit.